the echoes of what once shattered. You can either become your chains or the very hammer that forges your future. For too long, you've heard the whisper of your limitations, the quiet dread of past failures, the insidious murmur that tells you you're not enough. It's a narrative spun from the threads of disappointment, a story that holds you captive in a gilded cage of comfort and inaction. But what if that whisper is a lie? What if the very definition of your potential has been distorted by the shadows of what you've endured? Look closely at the lives of those who have carved their names into the bedrock of history, not with effortless grace, but with the grit of persistent effort. Consider the tireless hours Thomas Edison spent, not just experimenting, but failing thousands of times before the incandescent bulb glowed with reliable brilliance. He wasn't just working, he was outworking the doubt, outworking the skepticism, outworking the sheer statistical probability of failure. His success wasn't a sudden flash of genius, but the cumulative energy of relentless, focused output. It was the refusal to be defined by what didn't work, the unwavering conviction that every discarded filament brought him closer to the one that would ignite. This isn't about being born with a specific talent. It's about cultivating an unwavering belief in your capacity to develop that talent, to hone it, to refine it through sheer, unadulterated effort. It's about recognizing that every setback isn't a dead end, but a necessary detour on the path to mastery. Your mind, right now, is not a fixed landscape, but a fertile ground, waiting for the seeds of this new understanding to be sown. The limiting beliefs you carry, those invisible weights that drag you down, are not inherent truths. They are narratives you've adopted, stories you've allowed to define your boundaries. But what if you could rewrite that story, not with a sudden burst of inspiration, but with the disciplined, daily grind of unwavering commitment? What if you understood that the greatest transformations are not born from fleeting moments of motivation, but from the quiet, consistent act of showing up, even when every fiber of your being screams for ease? This journey isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about the incremental gains, the small victories won in the solitude of your own effort. It's about recognizing that the discomfort you feel, the resistance you encounter, is not a sign to stop, but a signal that you are growing, that you are pushing against the very edges of your perceived limitations. Embrace that discomfort, for it is the crucible in which true resilience is forged. The landscape of your belief system is more critical than any external circumstance. When Andrew Carnegie, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become a titan of industry, spoke of wealth, he wasn't just talking about financial assets. He understood that true prosperity began in the mind, a deep-seated conviction in one's ability to create, to innovate, to overcome. He saw the potential for a steel empire long before the first rivet was hammered into place, because he first forged that vision in the fires of his own imagination and belief. This wasn't naive optimism. It was an active, deliberate cultivation of a mindset that refused to acknowledge defeat as a final destination. Your mind is a garden, and every thought you entertain is a seed. Do you plant weeds of doubt and self-pity, or do you cultivate the rich soil of possibility and unwavering conviction. The quality of your harvest will directly reflect the quality of your planting. This isn't merely about thinking positively. It's about embedding a profound and unshakable belief in your own agency, your ability to influence outcomes through sheer force of will and consistent action. It's about understanding that the external world often mirrors the internal landscape you project. If you believe you are perpetually behind, perpetually lacking, then that becomes your reality. But if you begin to truly believe in your capacity for growth, for learning, for contribution, then the world begins to align with that belief. This deep conviction isn't a switch you flip. It's a muscle you develop through repetition. It's built by facing down the insidious voice of self-doubt, by actively choosing to reframe setbacks as learning opportunities, by consistently reaffirming your purpose and your worth. Imagine Walt Disney meticulously sketching every frame, poring over every detail. In the face of countless rejections and financial peril, his belief in the magic he was creating transcended the immediate obstacles. It was an unwavering internal compass that guided him through the wilderness of uncertainty. He didn't just dream. He believed with every fiber of his being, and that belief fueled the tireless effort required to bring his impossible visions to life. This isn't about magical thinking. It's about the very real, tangible power of a mind aligned with a clear, unwavering purpose. When your belief system is strong, it becomes an impenetrable shield against the slings and arrows of misfortune, a relentless engine driving you forward. Even when the path is shrouded in darkness, clarity is not a luxury. It is the compass that guides your every effort. Without a precise understanding of your destination, your energy dissipates like smoke. Your actions become aimless wanderings. Abraham Lincoln, facing the greatest crisis in American history, possessed an almost singular clarity of purpose to preserve the Union. This unwavering vision, despite the immense personal and political sacrifices, allowed him to navigate the tempestuous waters of war and division. He didn't just hope for an outcome. He meticulously articulated it, communicated it, and then tirelessly worked towards it, never losing sight of that ultimate objective, your vision. They too must be equally crystalline. What does victory look like for you? Not a vague aspiration, but a vivid, sensory experience. How will it feel? What will you be doing? Who will you be with? The more detailed your mental blueprint, the more precise your actions can become. This isn't about rigid adherence to a pre-planned path, for life demands adaptability, but rather about having a North Star, a definitive point of orientation that keeps you from drifting. Think of Henry Ford, not just assembling cars, but visualizing an entire industrial process, from raw materials to the final product rolling off the assembly line, at a price accessible to the common person. His clarity wasn't just about the car itself, but about the revolutionary production system that would make it possible. This intricate, almost obsessive focus on the future state allowed him to innovate, to streamline, to outwork every conventional manufacturing process of his time. He saw the entire ecosystem, not just isolated parts. Your purpose then emerges from this clarity. It's the deep, underlying reason why you pursue that vision. It's the driving force that sustains you when the inevitable obstacles arise. It's the answer to the question, What is the ultimate impact I want to have? When your purpose is clear and deeply resonant, it becomes an inexhaustible wellspring of motivation, allowing you to tap into reserves of energy you never knew you possessed. It transforms effort from a burden into a meaningful contribution, making every single action a step towards something far greater than yourself. Discipline is not punishment. It is the sacred ritual of self-mastery, the daily devotion to your future self. It is the unwavering commitment to those small, seemingly insignificant actions that, compounded over time, yield monumental results. We often romanticize the sudden breakthrough, the flash of genius. But the truth is, genius is often just discipline in disguise. It's the relentless repetition, the consistent refinement, the unwavering adherence to a process long after the initial excitement has faded. Think of the greatest athletes, musicians, or artists. Their prowess isn't born overnight. It's the product of thousands upon thousands of hours of deliberate practice, of showing up to the arena, the studio, the canvas, day after day, even when motivation wanes. This is where the magic truly happens. In the quiet, consistent act of doing the work. This isn't about forcing yourself into uncomfortable routines you resent. It's about cultivating habits that serve your highest aspirations, habits that align with your deepest purpose. It's about building a daily framework that supports your growth, nurtures your skills, and steadily propels you forward. It's choosing delayed gratification over instant pleasure. Understanding that true fulfillment comes from the cultivation of long-term vision. Action, then, becomes the inevitable consequence of this discipline. It's not just about doing. It's about acting deliberately, with intention and focus. It's about converting clarity into concrete steps, breaking down your grand vision into manageable, actionable tasks. Procrastination is often just clarity's absence, a fuzzy understanding of what needs to be done next. But when you have a clear purpose, a defined vision, and the discipline to break it down, action flows naturally. It becomes a rhythm, a dance, a relentless march forward. It's the moment when intention meets execution, when dreams begin to materialize in the tangible world. This isn't about being busy. It's about being effective, about prioritizing the actions that move the needle, the tasks that truly contribute to your desired outcome. It's about the focused intensity of putting one foot in front of the other, consistently, relentlessly, until the mountain you once thought insurmountable begins to shrink beneath your determined stride. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a powerful accelerant, a profound mindset that shifts your perception and amplifies your capacity for resilience. It's the conscious act of acknowledging the abundance already present in your life. Even amidst challenges and setbacks, when you cultivate gratitude, you're not denying pain or difficulty. You're simply choosing to focus on the resources, the lessons, the opportunities that exist, even in the shadows. This fundamental shift in perspective doesn't just make you feel better. It literally rewires your brain, making you more adaptable, more open to solutions, and more resilient in the face of adversity. It's the understanding that every experience, even the most painful, carries with it a seed of wisdom, a hidden gift, Resilience isn't about avoiding the fall. It's about the speed and grace with which you pick yourself up, learn from the impact, and adjust your course. It's the ability to bend without breaking, to absorb the shock of disappointment and emerge, not unscathed, but undeniably stronger. This is where adaptability becomes paramount. The world is in constant flux, and those who cling rigidly to outdated plans or expectations are destined for frustration. Instead, embrace the fluidity, the continuous evolution. Learn to pivot, to innovate, to redefine your approach based on new information and changing circumstances. This isn't giving up on your vision. It's about finding new, more effective pathways to achieve it. It's the spirit of invention, the willingness to experiment, to fail fast, and to learn even faster. Learning, then, is not a finite process, but a lifelong pilgrimage. It's the insatiable hunger for knowledge, the relentless pursuit of improvement, the understanding that every day offers an opportunity to expand your capabilities. The greatest minds throughout history, from Leonardo da Vinci to Steve Jobs, were not just creators, but perpetual students, constantly observing, questioning, and integrating new insights. They understood that true mastery is an endless journey, a continuous refinement of skills and understanding. So, forge ahead, knowing that every challenge is an invitation to grow. Every setback a classroom, every moment an opportunity to outwork everyone else's expectations, including your own. Your journey is not defined by where you started, but by the unwavering commitment you bring to every single step forward, until the echoes of your past are replaced by the roar of your extraordinary, self-made future. The universe does not reward wishes. It responds to unwavering effort, to the sheer force of a will applied with relentless consistency. Too often, we conflate desire with execution, mistaking the yearning for success with the gritty, often unglamorous work required to achieve it. But the annals of human accomplishment are not filled with those who merely wished, but with those who worked. Consider the giants of industry, the visionaries, the innovators. They weren't simply handed their breakthroughs. They earned them, inch by laborious inch, through a commitment that transcended mere enthusiasm. Think of the long nights, the early mornings, the hundreds, even thousands of hours poured into a craft, a business, a dream, when the rest of the world slept or sought leisure. That quiet, internal resolve to outwork the competition, to outlast the skeptics, to outthink the problems, is the true engine of greatness. This isn't about natural talent. It's about the cultivation of a work ethic so profound, so ingrained, that it becomes an extension of your very being. It's understanding that every single hour you dedicate, every single problem you solve, every single skill you refine, adds to an invisible but undeniable momentum. This momentum, built brick by brick through persistent effort, eventually becomes an unstoppable force, propelling you towards outcomes that once seemed utterly impossible. This is the alchemy of achievement, transforming raw effort into tangible results, not through magic, but through the consistent application of your focused energy. This relentless pursuit This dedication to outworking every limitation is not a burden. It is the ultimate freedom. It frees you from the tyranny of circumstance, from the despair of past failures, from the suffocating grip of self-doubt. When you commit to showing up, to putting in the work, to pushing past your perceived boundaries, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for permission, for external validation, for a sign that it's your turn. Instead, you create your own turns. You forge your own path. You write your own destiny. The truly successful are not those who avoid struggle, but those who embrace it as the forge, in which their character is hardened and their capabilities are expanded. They understand that every obstacle is an opportunity, every challenge a test of their resolve, and every moment of discomfort a chance to grow stronger, wiser, more resilient. Your past does not dictate your future unless you allow it to. Your potential is not fixed. It is constantly expanding, limited only by the boundaries of your own imagination and the intensity of your effort. So, step into that uncomfortable space where growth resides. Embrace the grind, the discipline, the unwavering commitment to your vision. For in that sacred space of relentless effort, you will not only transform your circumstances, but you will profoundly, irrevocably transform yourself.